Hello. So for a couple problems in chapter 6, here they are. I'm using Excel. What we can do, so find the probability that a random selected acre is between the two. Now when you're using the norm to find these percents, you need to know, it gives you the percent below. So if we put equals norm, we want the first one because we're putting in data, we're getting the percent. So you double click on it, then it tells you what to enter. You enter your X value, which was right here, 29243, comma, your mean and the standard deviation, comma, and then it will ask you cumulative distribution or probability, and you want to just put the true and then hit enter. Now this is the percent below that number, so then when we plug in the 35, it'll give us below that and we subtract the 2. So we do the same thing, equals norm, and then it'll come up, first one, and then we put our X, this time the other number, 35,939, comma, the 42,000, comma, the 12,444, comma, and then true. Hit enter. Now these two values, what happens is that where the 35 is, it's going from the 35 below. And then, let me put that here. 3, 5. So below this number is the 0.313. Below this one, 29243, is the 152. So if we subtract, then we have what's in between them. So right here we can go equals, and you click on this number minus this one and hit enter. And then it gives you your 0.1605. For a quartile, when we have the first quartile, what did they want? Oh, first quartile. First quartile, 25% of the data is below it, because you have Q1, and this is 25%. And then you have another 25% in Q2. Well, they call it Q3, or lower quartile, upper. So this one's lower quartile, this is the upper quartile. Notice this one has, let me put the mean in there. So the mean has 25% below and 25% here, which makes 50%. If you're doing Q3, then it's 25, 25, and 25, 75%. This one asks for Q1, so there's 25% of the data below it. When you're finding a value, so we'll find it right here. You still put your equals and your norm, but instead of distribution, you use inverse. So to find a percent, you use, when you're given a percent, you use inverse. And then it tells you probability. We want Q1, so 25% of the data is below it. So we click 0.25, comma, the mean, 42,000, comma, standard deviation, 12,444, and hit enter. And there's your value. If you had to find Q3, you do the same thing, but there's 75% of the data below it. So you would put equals norm, and you want the value, so that's the inverse. Double click it, put your probability 0.75, comma your mean 42, 1, 2, 3, comma standard deviation, and hit enter. And so this would be the upper quartile, or Q3. If we'll go down to another one. I'll just go to a second sheet. There we go. Okay, so for this one, we want what proportion of customers consume over 3,283 calories. So first of all, let's find remember when it gives you the percent, it's giving you the percent below. So we'll find that first. Click where you want it, equals norm. We're plugging in X value, so it's the first one. Put our X value, 32.83, comma, the mean, 2950, standard deviation, 599, comma, and then I always click true and hit enter. Now notice that's high. Well, that's because it's the value below 3283. We want the value above. So equals 1 minus our answer. And hit enter. There's the percent below. So when you find these values, it gives you below, which was the 0.71. We wanted over, so you subtract from 1. Likewise on this one, the Piggy Award will be given out to the 3% customers who consume the most calories. So they want over 3%, but when we use our values, we go by below. So instead of 0.3, 1 minus 0.3, whoops, I forgot to put the equals. You always have to put an equal sign to get it to solve it. There we go, 0.7. So we go equals norm. Now we want a value, so that's inverse. You put the percent below, and that was the 0.7, comma, the mean, 2950, 599, and hit enter. And there's our value. Did I click something wrong? 7. Oh, 3%. I put 30% instead of 3%. It should have been 1 minus 0.03. Should have been 97%. Okay, sorry about that. It's 3%, so it should have been subtracting 0.03, and I only subtracted 0.3. So if we go in here, we have to change that 0.7 to a 97. There we go. So be careful of your decimal places.